All right, welcome everyone to Zenith Online Racing. This is the EU tier, Season 6, Round 2 at Spain. Looks like we have clear weather for qualifying. I'm going to check the audio, and then I'll get all of our information up on screen. All right. If anyone is on and my microphone is not adjusted well, just let me know. I know there were some problems with it last week, so I hope I have it adjusted well enough, but if it needs to be adjusted again, just let me know. All right, let's see. We've got no one out on track yet. Let's get this all fired up. We got somebody out. All right, so we will follow along. It looks like it's Jay Doodoo, who is the first out of the pits on the mediums. So we will follow along a lap with him. Spain, a track where qualifying position is going to be important if the race stays green the whole way through, if there's no safety cars. Judging by the other tiers this week, there will be safety cars. And judging by the other tiers, whatever strategy that you start the race with, I'm sure will be affected by safety cars. So I would imagine the strategy for a lot of these guys will be qualify on the softs and qualify as high up as you can. At least that's what my strategy would be if I were them and I'd watched any of the other races this week. So yeah, mediums are a really good race tire, not great for qualifying though. So we'll see what the strategy plays out as we get through qualifying. But we'll follow along one lap here with Jay Doodoo just to get a feel of the circuit. Hopefully he can avoid some traffic coming out of the pits. Can take a really wide line into turn 1, use a lot of the curb. Bold to take that curve through turn 2. It's you got to hit it just right, and he looked okay. Opens up this corner well, let the car drift out wide, take another wide entry here. I think this is one of the most difficult traction zones on the track, that corner there, and then now braking for a tricky left-hander. Hopefully RC gets out of the way before the corner. Yep, and this is a corner where we'll probably see some people spin at some point tonight. It's a very, very tricky traction zone. You got to go through there, just dance on the throttle. He's able to keep it well through turn 9, and now braking for 10, straight line, a little bit wide at the apex there, but it'll be okay for a banker. Looks pretty good through there, and then one of the worst sections on the calendar, in my opinion, this final chicane, just so clunky and slow. I don't know anybody who likes that chicane, but he navigates it pretty well. And we'll set the first time as he kept it clean. It's a 1:17.6, so I would expect pole to be probably in the 15s, high 15, around there. Based off of some of the drivers we have in here, as he has a spin through the first sector. We have a McLaren out on track. RC looks like he's on a lap, so we'll follow along with him. And he's invalidated, so... Oh, and Jay Doodoo has been disqualified. So the spin sent him in the wrong direction, and he's been disqualified. So let's see if we can find somebody on a lap. Superham just finished. Leon... oh, so he's disqualified, not just retired from the session, so that's really unfortunate for him. Leon has a time set. Barton coming around on the mediums in the second sector. We'll check in with him in just a minute. Adri starting a lap. Fuzz going slowly, not sure if he's finishing a lap or what's going on there. Got yellow flags all over the place. Lots of traffic through the second sector there. Looks like Bones was able to navigate it pretty well. Some more traffic as he's coming up to turn 9. I don't know who that is. That in front of him, is that Adri? Yeah, who's invalidated his lap. We had Fuzz set a not representative time at a 1:27.8, so Don't know what happened to him on that lap. Maybe he was trying to burn fuel down, or maybe had a spin. I don't know what might have happened, but we're into the 15s, and I did not expect a 15.5 on the mediums, but it happened. So a really, really good, very competitive lap from Snooty. A 15.5 on the medium tire is an excellent time. I would have been happy with a 15.5 myself on the softs, but he had a 15.5 on the medium, so some serious lap time. I'll be interested to see if he pits for the softs. We have Superham also into the 15s on the softs with the 15.8. That's more what I expected Pole to be thereabouts. Jinnit going low 16s on the mediums. Bones was able to set a mid 16. We have a couple other guys in the 17s. Heron set a not very representative time. Let's see what's Beck doing. Beck's purple through the first sector. According to these splits, you can never rely on him too much. Let's follow along with his lap. Looks like RC might also be on the lap, so we'll look for that time to pop up. I think that was Barton who must have just set that time. So a mixed strategy so far in quali. Some guys going for the mediums for their first runs, some going straight to the softs. A little bit of traffic through the third sector there. That'll knock Beck's time down a little bit, as he had some dirty air there. He still manages a 16.4, which is a really good first lap. Good enough for P4 right now. So looks like RC dove into the pits, and that was, I think, Heron who just improved his time, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. It looks like we got Jinnit coming into the pits, and we've got Barton, who looks like he's on an in lap or a slow lap. So yeah, after the first round or so of laps, we've got 11 times so far. I don't know if Adri, Carlo, and RC invalidated their laps. That would be my guess, but yeah, we've got a couple guys out on track now. Looks like Beck's, I think they're all on in laps. I think Beck's on an in lap. I think Heron's on an in lap, and Leon's on an out. So we'll follow along with Leon, since he'll be the next one on a quali lap. Yeah, sorry, just checking the chat. T-Money, I agree. A 15.5 on mediums is a serious time. Let me know how my mic volume is, if it should be up or down, also, if you can. Yeah, 15.5 on the mediums is serious. That's, yeah, it's a really good lap. Alright, so Leon on a lap now. We'll see what he's able to do. Nice wide line through the first corner. Ooh, just tempts that curb a little bit, not too much. See what his Sector 2 split time is as he comes across. Looks like a pretty decent lap so far. Half a second faster. I think he's got a little bit more time in that. Let's see, maybe there's more for him to gain in the third sector. Based off of his pace last week, I think he's got more than the 17.5 in the bag. So we'll see how much he's able to improve. Half a second through the first two sectors. Kept it clean there on the exit of the final corner, which is always good. And yeah, he really had a lot of time to find there in the third sector. He's into the 15s, I was going to say. That was a solid-looking lap up until the third sector, which looked really good. So a 15.9 for him, which is a really good time. Superham starting the lap, so we'll make sure we check in with him. Jennett's found a couple of tenths, which right now might be enough to move him up to P4 provisionally. Let's see what he's able to find through the second sector here. Short shifting up to 5th. Leaving it in 7th for there and going a little bit wide. You want to be not touching too much of that curb. It'll slow you down a little bit, but he seemed to be finding the time. And right now, 6 tenths would put him on the front row. We're very close to it. Let's see what he can do through the third sector. Navigates that chicane well, runs a little bit wide, and he's invalidated. So he just carried a couple extra, and that would have been a really good lap. That would have been a 15.0. That would have been pole by a while. But he just carried that little bit of too much speed coming out of that chicane, and he's invalidated. But he will be one to watch, certainly, as he goes on his final run. Right now, Superham, though, has gone provisional pole. We got Leon off in the gravel somewhere, so that's not good. Heron is on a lap, and he's slow through the first sector. He's slower by about 0.03 of a second. Let's see if he's able to find time in the second sector. Just about kept it on track limits there. Thought that might have been a little bit wide. Little bit of oversteer there. Ooh. Can tell he's pushing. He's just about had to catch the car 2 or 3 times on this lap. Able to make that apex though. I missed his second sector split, so we'll have to. It shows purple, which I wouldn't doubt. But let's see what he's able to do through the third sector. Really want to avoid those yellow curves. We want to get as close as possible. Looks like he had to be a little bit conservative on throttle coming out of that chicane because he was close to track limits. He goes 15.4, misses pole position by about 600, so maybe that last little bit just cost him. Snooty has fitted the softs, it looks like, and looks like he's preparing to come out, so definitely want to be watching that lap. Beck looks like he's on a slow lap, so we don't need to look at that. Barton on a flying lap, it looks like, on mediums, and he's gotten held up a little bit, so he might be backing out of that or coming on an in lap. Rustman, I think, just moved out of the way. RC is slow, just finished the lap. Kind of surprised to see Barton out there on the mediums again. Already done a couple laps. Alright, looks like Rustman's getting ready to start a lap, so we will follow along with him. Maybe he's on an in lap. Not sure. Jennett's on an out lap, so him and Snooty definitely wants to watch as we're nearing the end of quali. Jennett would have had a 15.0 if he would have kept it in track limits coming out of the final corner. Rustman just finding a little bit of time through the first sector, a couple thousandths. Needs to find a little bit more than that if he's going to move up the order. He's off of P8 by about 0.4, so he's got to find some time. Oh, and he has a spin, and he's out. I mentioned that was a tricky part of the circuit, and it's had its first victim so far. Snooty on the softs, 0.2 faster through the first sector, so we will follow along with his lap and then jump to Leon and Jennett to see what they are able to do. But finding 0.2 through the first sector, he did switch to the softs, and I would imagine the middle and final sector are where the softs are going to be the big advantage. First sectors, yeah, there'll be a tire advantage there, but not as much as the rest of the lap. Found another 0.3 through the second sector, so let's see what he's able to find through the final bit. He should be on pole position, but will he be into the 14s? Runs wide, and he's invalidated. So he's invalidated through Sector 3, just running a little bit wide. Let's see if he finishes his lap or if he spins. And he's just still in the session. Oof. He should have time if he's got another set of softs. It's going to be close, but he should have time to pit and come out again. Zenith on a lap has found a 10th so far. I'm not sure what his delta is going to be too. I don't know if that delta will be for his current lap that's up there or from his invalid lap, but he's found some time. Leon, another contender for, pole position or high qualifying time, has invalidated his lap. So Snooty, thankfully, where he lost it, he'll be able to come into the pits, fit another set of softs, and he should be able to get out and around. Lucky he did not lose a wheel there. Zenith, as he's coming through that final chicane, looks like he got a little bit of curb on the inside where he invalidated last time, and he is going to set a 15.3, so not quite as quick as his last lap, but crucially, this one is valid, which his last lap was not. So I think he'll be pleased with that lap. It's enough for pole position right now, provisionally. But I have a feeling that might get snatched away from him. As we've got Heron, who's on an outlap, Superham, who's on an outlap, Snooty, who's on an outlap, Beck on an outlap. It looks like Leon is continuing here. At this point, he doesn't really have time to get into the pits. He doesn't have time to get into the pits and back around. But yeah, not improving, so his qualifying is gonna end there. Let's see what Superham's doing. It looks like he is on an outlap. Yeah, he's moving around for people. Beck looks like he's on a flyer, so we'll follow along with him for a minute. First sector split, he's found about 300ths, and he's gone around. Lost it under traction. I mentioned in the first lap of the session how difficult I think that corner can be for traction sometimes. And unfortunately, it's caught Beck out in his final run in quali, so that will be his time. Let's see what Superham's able to do. I don't think Superham is going to be able to get back around. His time looks like... couldn't quite see his sector split, but we'll see. Zenith has retired, unsurprising, because he's not going to be able to get back around. Superham has gone off, and his session's going to be done. Heron, not sure what's happening there, but Snooty we know might be on pole, so let's follow along with him and see where other people are trickling down. Fuzz on the mediums. I don't know if he's out on the softs right now. Nope, he's on the mediums. He's content with the medium tire. Snooty's found about 2/10. He needs to find about that same amount to be on pole position. If he can keep it clean, I have a feeling he'll be able to do that. Coming out of turn 9, opening DRS, moving to the right side of the track, left on the screen. He's about 4/10 down. It's going to be enough for pole right now if he can hold it through the third sector, but as we saw from the last lap, you got to keep it on the track. You got to keep it valid. As he's navigating that final chicane, looks pretty smooth through there. Just about using the maximum you can get away with on track limits there, and that should be enough for pole position. It is. It's a 14.8, so a really strong third sector. Heron crossed the line, but his time is invalid. So it is Snooty on pole position. A very, very nice time in the 14s, a 14.8 I believe it was in the end. Yep, a 14.8 pole position by almost half a second. So a really solid lap from him. Everybody in the top 10 on the softs with the exception of Fuzz in P10 and Barton in P8. So they will have a little bit of a strategy advantage if things stay clean, stay green the whole way, and there's no safety cars. So it's Snooty and Zenith on the front row, Superham and Heron on the second row, and you can see the rest of qualifying there. Unfortunately, Jay Dudu was disqualified for going the wrong way as he had to spin through the first sector. So he'll have to start from the back. You can see the rest of the order there, but Yeah, I have a feeling that we will see safety cars. I have a feeling that there will be whatever strategy the drivers put in as they're sitting on the grid. I don't think that will be the strategy they finish with, if any other races this week. If it's like any of the other races this week, I think there will be safety cars. There will be plenty... plenty of variety in what we're going to see from the drivers. As someone has readied up, so we will get started in just a minute. I think the ideal strategy here would be a medium to hard. The hard are an extremely durable tire. They're not the fastest by any stretch. Mediums, I think, are the best race tire. You can do, if you're starting on the softs and it's green all the way through, you can do a soft, medium, medium. Or you can do a soft, medium, and then if you stretch the mediums long enough, you can put on the softs again at the end. So you could start and end on soft tires and run the mediums for a longer stint in the middle. Got to be good with tire management there, and you really have to keep a set of softs from qualifying. So we've got a couple of people who've been disqualified from the formation lap, so they will struggle a little bit on the first corner, the first lap, as they will have cold tires, unfortunately. But let's take a look as we're discussing strategy to see what the drivers outside the top 10 opted for. Everybody outside the top 10 going for the mediums. Yeah, pretty safe choice, I think. You definitely don't want to start on the softs if you're outside the top 10. Kind of surprised not to see anybody start on the hards. You can run the hards for a really long way into the race, and if there's a VSC or something, you can't even stretch the hards to a fresh set of softs at the end of the race. But like I said, I really don't expect there to be much we've got somebody in the chat calling 5 VSCs. Yeah, no, yeah, Grim, I agree. I think there's going to be a lot of it. If the other races this week were any indication, there's going to be some safety cars and VSCs. So we will take a look this opening lap at the position change. But yeah, it'll be Snooty on pole. A lot of guys in the top 10, with the exception of Barton and Fuzz on the mediums, or on the softs. Barton and Fuzz on the mediums. Everybody outside on the mediums as well. No full safety, only VSC. Yeah, the only good thing about starting on the hards, why I think the hards are a good tire to start on, is because if there's a safety car early, you can get track position by staying out and then being able to switch to the softs at the end. But mediums are the probably more sensible choice for the start of the race for most drivers. Just track position here is so crucial, so anything you can do to get track position is important. Let's go. Let's get a good view of the grid. And it's lights out, and away we go. Snooty gets a good start. We have a couple of slow starters in the back, but it looks like everyone is away cleanly, which is better than last week. Snooty clear into turn 1. We've got Jinnit and Superham going side by side. Jinnit just edged ahead. Looks like everyone is through the first sector cleanly. We've got a couple people dropping positions. Looks like Leon might have had a spin. Let's see what happened to him. He's still in the race. Don't know if he has damage or not. But we will go back and check on that later. Looks like everybody away cleanly. Jay Dudu with a really good start from 15th up to 10th, so fantastic for him. Top 5 unchanged. It's Snooty, Jinnit, Superham, Heron, and Beck, the top 5. Barton and Bag of Bones, the Ferraris, having a great opening lap, each gaining a position. Adri's dropped back 1. Fuzz with a poor opening lap. He's dropped 3 positions outside the top 10. But yeah, away cleanly. This is good. This is, like I said, better than last week. At this point last week we had, I think, 2 retirements already, and we were already in a safety car. So good to see us all the way clean, with the exception of maybe 1 spin, but no safety cars yet, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 3. Who's around? It's Jay Doo with a great start. And then just drop back. But as we've got one retirement, 2 retirements. I was going to say, I thought I saw somebody going around. 2 retirements, I think, independent events, and, well, commentator's curse, there's the safety car. Grim, sorry, your prediction's not coming true, because we already have a full safety car. But yeah, I was trying to figure out what was happening, because Jay Doo had gone around and lost time, as we have now our wonderful timing glitch. Thank you, Codemasters. But Jay Doo had gone around and was trying to figure out what happened to him, and then saw that Carlo and Leon had both gone around as well coming out of that final corner. So don't know if they had picked up damage. Don't know what happened to them, but we have 2 retirements. So we're down to 13 already, and a full safety car. For the top 10, not a lot of variety, or not a lot of change for the top 5 at least. I think the top 5 all as they were. Excuse me. RC with a good start. He's into the top 10, into the points. Jay Doo, despite his spin, that'll be a good chance for him to get back up. Fuzz as well, close up for a tough opening lap. Yeah, game's wrong. No safety car, just VSC. We've got a few of the top runners coming into the pits, which is a little bit surprising. I would have maybe expected them to be staying out and getting track position, but Snooty's going to put on the hards. So let's get some tires up here and see what everybody's going to. Snooty went for the hards, Jinnit opting for the mediums, Superham for the hards as well, and Bag of Bones for the mediums. So 4 drivers coming into the pits, including both the drivers who are on the front row. So interesting to see. I imagine for Snooty and Superham they'll try and run those tires. I doubt till the end, mostly because I doubt it stays green until the end. I'm sure there'll be another safety car or VSC at some point where they'll box again, but I'm surprised to see them coming in for the hards personally. I would have expected coming in for the mediums, or like I said, stayed out and taking track position, because I think that's crucial here. But yeah, I mean, Snooty set a faster lap on the mediums than I did on the softs, so I don't know if I should question too much his choice, because clearly he knows he's got a skill advantage over me. So maybe shouldn't talk too much trash, but. Yeah, surprised to see the hards here. It's not the choice I would have made. I probably would have stayed out and extended the soft stint personally. Or if I did box for the mediums like Jin and Bones did. So we'll see how that works out. That'll be an interesting strategy look as we go through this next phase. But for Heron and Beck, they are out front and they're on softs. So these opening few laps have been fantastic for Barton. Because he's gained positions. He's on a tire, I think a better tire as Adri's coming into the pits. So he will funnel out at the very back of the grid, unfortunately. He's putting on some mediums. Not a terrible call. I mean, at this point in the race, it's you're giving up track position, which I think is the most important thing around Spain. Can be really tricky to overtake unless somebody makes a big error or picks up damage. But yeah, so Barton has had a fantastic opening few laps, starting from, I believe, P8. Let's go back to that position change again. Yeah, moving up 5 positions. Obviously everybody who boxes dropped back, but yeah, for Heron and Beck, it's going to be important to break DRS from those medium runners behind, because the softs, especially the softs that you start the race on, they're good till about lap 7, I would say. It's about when they start to go off, but few laps under a safety car, maybe they're going to try and stretch it to soft hard. and try and go for a one-stop soft to hard. Or they're going to extend that first stint and go soft, medium, soft. Or it doesn't matter because there's going to be another safety car. But for Herron and Beck, as these first couple laps under the safety car get going, it'll be important for them to break that second gap to Barton in P3, get out of that DRS so they can take full advantage of that tire disparity, at least at this section. So Herron rounding the final corner. Let's see when he leads him, and he goes now. Oh, and Herron spun! He spun on the restart. He's in the race still, but he's lost his front wing, so our race leader, Herron, around the final corner as he was leading them back to green. That means Beck is going to be in P1. Barton is losing a position side by side into turn 1. He just stays ahead. They're giving each other just enough room as Jinnit has picked up a time penalty, so we will go and check there. And Barton ends up losing the position. Is he going to fight back, or are we going to see a Rosberg-Hamilton situation coming down to turn 4? Around the outside, this is great racing. He holds it, and he's got the inside line here, and that should be enough. But over, under, nope, that's going to be held for now. So fantastic racing through the first sector there. Both drivers being hard but fair. It's the exact kind of racing you want to see. And that worked out perfectly for Beck because them going side by side as Barton is around. Barton around through turn 9. Superham is retired, so all sorts of things kicking off under the safety car restart. I don't know what happened to Superham, but he's retired from the session. Looks like maybe going through that tricky left-right of 7 and 8, I believe. We have a yellow flag now, but no safety car or VSC yet. Barton spun coming through turn 9. Thankfully, his front wing is intact, so he's just going to be at the back of the pack. But all of that worked out really, really well for Beck, as he's got a 3.5 second advantage now out front. So, yeah, crazy safety car restart. Absolute madness. But yeah, Beck is in a really good position right now, as he's got softs, he's got clean air, he's got no one to defend from. He can just focus on putting in some fast laps and letting the guys behind battle. But let's go find one of those battles. Looks like we got a little bit of a DRS train here, forming from about P3 down to about P8. A lot of these drivers have spun as we got Russman who's gone around. So Russman has gone around. It looks like he's still in the session. But again, that 7-8 is such a tricky corner. And it's claimed somebody else. I think that's 4 maybe? Between quali and the race. But we have quite a train now forming behind RC as we have Russman who's gone and looks like he might have had another spin on some warm tires through turn 9. Harry definitely is going to be hoping for a safety car. Russman's going to be hoping for a safety car. DRS has finally been enabled, so we'll have a DRS train forming here now from RC down the order. Beck has extended that gap by another second. It's up to 4.7, 4.8 thereabouts. A really, really good opportunity for him, and he's taking advantage of it right now, putting those softs to work. Let's see if anybody in this DRS train is going to be able to break through. We've got Jinnit, who's going to be trying to make up for that 3-second time penalty he picked up, going very close, showing that he's got race pace to match his quality pace. Is he going to go for the move here? He is. He gets a good exit, gets his elbows out a little bit in attack, and he pulled off the move. So not a place you typically see overtaking into 7 and 8, but he did it. So fair play. And now he's gone up to the back of Fuzz, who's all over the back of RC, and as DRS is opening this lap, let's see if any of those drivers can be making moves. Further down the order, Adri is close to the back of Bag of Bones, and the other Ferrari, Barton, is catching up to the back of them, so that will be another battle. But quite the DRS train here. Ooh, as Jinnit just goes wide, has to back out of the throttle, so having to use the overtake just to stay within touching distance of Fuzz. Is Fuzz going to go for a move here around the outside? at turn 1. They come together, and RC's around, and into Zenith, and Fuzz is around. All kinds of damages. We've got admins bumping into each other. I think that's Zenith off in the gravel. He was kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. Didn't have really anywhere to go as the two drivers ahead were going side by side. Don't know why he stopped. I don't know if he's going to get going again. But yellow flag in Sector 1. Zenith still stopped as Rustman comes through. Not sure what's there. He's got going again finally. And stopped. Going again. Okay. Just yellow flags. No VSC or safety car yet. But, wow. Yeah, that's going to be one for the stewards to go and take a look at after the race. But, yeah, Fuzz RC going side by side. They made contact. RC went around. Fuzz went around. Zenith got caught up in it at the wrong place at the wrong time. And now he's going slowly. So not sure. There might be... I don't know what's going on there. But out front, let's go check in with our leader, Beck, as Zenith is off in the... Looks like he might have... yeah, I don't know. But he's retired. Looks like braking for turn 5. So a tough day, getting tougher for him. Oh, yep, just off in the gravel there. But Beck, meanwhile, our leader, has extended that gap now to 6 seconds. So he is really taking advantage of those softs. Softs that I think now, despite the safety car period, are probably going to be starting to go off. He's the only driver in the field on the softs right now. Let's follow along with Snooty, who's all over the back of Jay Doodoo. Snooty, remember, our pole sitter, boxed from P1 under the first safety car, put on the hard tires, and now he's going to be getting that overtake done into turn 10 with the help of DRS. And now he's in a really good position for the rest of this race because he's within Beck's pit window. He'll need to pit again himself. I would imagine. I don't think those hards will do the full race distance, which they would essentially be doing that if he's finished on them. Let's see if Adri's going to be making a move here. He's got DRS. Is Jay Doodoo going to lose another one? They're going side by side. He's going to make Adri take the inside line where he takes it, and he is through there without too much trouble. Let's see if he's going to fight back into turn 4. That wash from the dirty air, though, is hard to follow. You got to be all over the back of him, and just not quite there. So we've got RC coming into the pits, so he must have picked up some damage from that contact. Coming in, I'm sure changing the front wing and putting on the mediums. At this point in the race, I would have maybe said go hards and go to the end. But as we've discussed, probably high likelihood of another safety car. That gap out front from Beck to P2 has kind of stabilized there at around 6.6, so the softs probably starting to show their age. I'll be interested to see when he decides to come into pit. Yeah, Beck has pulled... sorry, just checking up the chat here. Yeah, Beck has pulled a nice gap. It's kind of, you know... Well, I say that now is... It must be the third sector where that time is really being found, but... He's going to want to pull as much of that time as he can. Snooty, like I said, in a really nice position. He just had the fastest lap of the race on hard, so... despite what I think about tire choice, he clearly is happy with them compared to the rest of the field, because he's setting fastest laps. Adri and Jay Doodoo have each picked up time penalties. We have a yellow flag in Sector 3. That looks like it's RC who's around. Heron coming around the final corner. Looks like he's doing okay. Don't know if Fuzz picked up damage from that or not. It's hard to tell looking at his front wing. And if he had side pod or floor damage, we wouldn't be able to tell too easily from here either. But it looks like Snooty might be going for another overtake here, maybe on this lap or the next lap. He's within the DRS of Kylet in second. Beck staying out another lap, so I'll be interested to see what he decides to do pit-wise, pit strategy-wise. Snooty going for the overtake here, and he's got it. And with DRS and overtake, he's used a lot of overtake, but he's got that move done before they even get to the braking zone. So, as Kylet has picked up a time penalty, probably got that on corner entry, I would guess. Beck out front, as we've got, looks like Jay Doodoo around in the first sector. Yep, just coming through the first couple corners, it looks like he lost it. So tough for him, but this will be a really crucial couple laps for Beck, as he'll see his pace relative to Snooty. Yeah, interesting to see what happens there, and Kylet can't stay with him, so Snooty really showing his pace. I don't know if anybody's got pace to match it right now, because that gap, he's closed at about 4/10 just this lap, since he's got, well, yeah. Ooh, as Kylet struggling on tires, goes off. He holds position, but just barely. Adri very close, so let's follow along with Adri, see if he'll maybe take advantage of that mistake coming through the DRS, but Kylet's going to come into the pits anyway. So we have our first pit from the medium tires, as Snooty sets another fastest lap into the 17s. That's almost a quali time for some drivers. He's doing it on a race trim on the hards, as we've got Barton and Bag of Bones going side by side. Barton's going to get that move done into the first corner. DRS overtake is about the only thing you can do here. Bones is going to go really wide. I'm sure he picked up a warning for that. Fuzz now back up to P6. Field's starting to get pretty spread now. So after that safety car restart, it was very bunched up there, and then some incidents, some spins, some natural gaps starting to form, and we've got it pretty strung out here. Bag of Bones and Barton are about the closest any two drivers are at the moment. That gap from Beck to Snooty out front is starting to shrink now, which is probably showing, one, the pace of Snooty, as well as the fact that Beck's tires are probably starting to struggle. Each lap that he stays out, I mean, though, I can really only be thinking two things. That he's either going for the one stop or he's waiting for a safety car. I don't know what condition his tires are in, but I know if I were in his position on lap 14 with softs that I started on, I would want to get off those tires. Despite the safety car laps, that's a long way to take those softs, so maybe thinking about pitting for the hards, maybe thinking about pitting for the mediums. We've got a couple drivers, Kylet and Fuzz, coming in for the hard tires. I'm sure they're going to try and run those to the end. Yeah, maybe he's going for a one-stop to the mediums. If he was going for a one-stop to the hards, I would think he would be in this lap, but he's staying out again. Oh, no, sorry, that was RC coming through. So let's see if Beck decides to dive in now. That gap is really dropping. It's 5 seconds, 5 and change now. It won't be too many laps before Snooty's all over the back of him, and his tires are going to be in a lot better shape. So you can see him just losing the rear there. His tires are dead. Takes out the cone on the way in, but he's finally coming into the pits. Let's see what kind of tire he puts on. Hards should go to the end from here comfortably. Mediums will be a stretch to go to the end. He's going to go hards, which I think is a good tire for right now. I think that's the right call. As one of the Ferraris comes in behind him, Barton, who started on mediums. Yeah, I mean, Beck took those softs as long as Barton took his mediums. So really good tire management from Beck, and he's in a really good position. As Adri and Bones are each going to have to pit, and Snooty is going to risk a puncture if he doesn't come in and pit again. So Beck in a really good position for this race. Barton in a good position. Yeah, but if I could be anybody in this race right now, I think I'd take Beck's position. P4, hards. Good to go to the end of the race. Snooty, I think, I mean, he might try and stretch those, but it's going to be a big ask, because I think he put those on during the first safety car, which was lap 2, I think, or maybe the end of lap 1. But they will essentially have gone full race distance, which is a lot to ask of tires. The closest battle on track right now looks to be between Heron and Russman. Is Heron going to go for it here? He thought about it. He pulls out of the slipstream. Adri coming into the pits. I'm sure he's going to put on hards and try and run to the end. Russman must have damage or something, or just the tire's not working for him, because Heron is all over the back of him through the third sector. Russman not diving into the pits. Kind of would have expected that, but... Yep, his rear light's blinking. He's got no battery left. Tire disadvantage for Russman and DRS. That's about all you need. It's all you need to get by. As Bones has picked up a time penalty, so that might come back to haunt him. Let's see. See if Russman can stay close. There's no other... Unfortunately, no other battles that are within DRS right now. As is the case with Spain. You either have a long DRS train or gaps like this that are 3 seconds, 1 second. Where you're not really close enough to make an overtake, but... yeah. Barton on some fresh hards, and Kylet in front should both be going to the end on those. So this is for position. No strategy required here. Kylet blinking, so he's used up a lot of battery, and he's picked up another time penalty. And so this will be a good time to check on the time penalties as well. 6 for Kylet, 3 for Adri, 3 for Bones, 3 for Heron, and 3 for J Dudu. So we got Russman coming into the pits. Not surprised, he had those mediums from the start, I believe. So I think just about 2 drivers who, maybe 3 drivers who still need to pit. Bones will definitely need to pit. RC... he may try and stretch those mediums. They still have a long way to go. 6 laps on those so far. He may try and stretch those. I wouldn't be surprised to see him pit for the softs at some point either. But Barton closing up well until he had a little bit of a moment there, sliding through the final corner, or coming out of the chicane. Lost a couple of tenths, but DRS will help with that, no doubt. Closing up to the back. Is he going to go for the move? Oof. Kylet kind of held the line. Didn't really move late. Just kind of held his car kind of in the middle of the track. Not far enough to the left for Barton to make a move up the inside, but not quite defensive either. Another gap to look at is the gap from Snooty to Beck. Because if Snooty does pit, he'll have to, right now at least, overtake Beck in order to get back into first place, barring any penalties. But I'll be one to keep an eye on as we progress throughout this second part of the race. Kind of surprised, I hope I'm not giving the commentator's curse here, but kind of surprised we haven't seen another safety car or VSC, as J Dudu has a moment through the third sector. Oh, second moment through the third sector, lost a front wing. Probably tires that are totally cooked, but if he's able to get it back to the pits, he can put on some mediums, and he's still got a shot at points in this race. If he can get it back to the pits. I'm sure those tires are a little toasty. He's got it pointed in the right direction. I'm sure. He's picked up a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Unfortunate. And he's retired. I hope he pulled into the pits to do that. We do have Bag of Bones coming into the pits. Looks like he lost it on pit entry, but still green flag. Just that yellow coming through third sector. Bones coming into the pits. Sure, I'll be putting on another set of mediums. I think he started on the softs, so yeah. Yep, going to the mediums again. He will be competitive for the rest of this race. It looks like he will probably come out in P6 or P7. Yeah, he should be out ahead of Fuzz. So now the battle for first place, we can just see that one gap from Beck to Snooty. So I think, no offense to Beck's pace, but I don't think he's getting P1 if Snooty stays out, unless he gets a puncture or something like that. I don't think that 17-second gap is going to come down just through a pace difference alone. I think it's going to take some kind of pit stop or puncture for Beck to take it on track. But we'll see what Snooty decides to do. See if there's any other... I mean, if there's a safety car right now, I mean, his race is made because he's got the gap. He can pit for softs, come out in P1, and be fine to the end. To be fair, Beck has that opportunity also. He's got the gap back to third place, where now, if there was a safety car, Beck can come in, pit for softs, and be right there. So it will just be now a matter of time to see if Snooty decides to baby the tires or if he pits again, as Russman has lost it through 7 and 8. But no damage, it doesn't look like, or any serious damage, and looks like he'll get going again. At this point, really, everybody should stay in the race. If you finish, if you cross the line, if you see the checkered flag, you've got at least a point. So everybody needs to stay in here. Because, yeah, even if you're 4 laps down at this point, you're getting a point. That gap between first and second is coming down quite a bit. I don't think at a rate that is going to trouble Snooty too much, as Barton has picked up a time penalty. I don't know if he had one already or not. He did not, so he picked up one. His teammate behind on mediums, going to be competitive. It's going to be hard to keep him behind. Got the rest of the top 5 on varying stages of hard tires. Not surprised to see nobody on the softs. Like I said, unless there's a safety car from here to the end or somebody picks up damage, I would be surprised to see anybody pit from the hards onto the softs. A little bit of a DRS train forming here with some of these drivers on the hard, so we will sit back for a couple laps, see what comes of it, see if there's some action here out front. It'll just be a matter of, does Snooty pit or not? And that gap's coming down faster than I thought it would. Yeah, if Beck doesn't pick up a penalty, I think he's in a really good position. Snooty will be in puncture territory if he doesn't pit again. And right now, if Snooty does pit, he's going to come out in P2. So, yeah. it'll be interesting, to say the least. But Beck, I think, is in a really good position. The softs are rapid. I think it'll just be a matter of when Snooty, if Snooty pits, when he dives in. But he puts those softs on, he's going to be rapid. I think somebody's gone around in the first sector. Kylett's gone around. And he's lost a front wing, too. He's lost an end plate, so he's definitely going to need to pit. No safety car, no VSC, so this all works out in Beck's favor. I think the longer it stays green, the better it is for Beck. Kylett, of course, stay in the race. You're going to get points. Yeah, Team Money, I think you're right. I think lap 2 is when he put those hards on. I'll check race director real quick. Or I guess lap 3, the end of lap 3. So they've been on for a long time. Yeah. They've been on for a while. At this point, he's got the gap, so he can either pull a Hamilton and pit and chase down Beck on the softs, or he can just stay out and baby the tires and see him through to the end. But that gap is kind of stabilized around a mid-15. As we've got Kylett coming into the pits. Unsurprising there, he'll change that front wing. Puts on mediums. I would have put on softs from here, but as Snooty did pick up a penalty. Wow. I missed that. Thanks for pointing that out. I think just 3. Let's check. Yep, just 3. Beck now even has more. Beck will know that. He'll see the 3-second time penalty. He'll see the time penalties for the rest of the top 5. Now even a safety car. Actually, a safety car I think works out. I was going to say I think a safety car was maybe the only thing Beck was afraid of earlier, because that means they'll be on equal tire strategy. But now a safety car I think is even Beck's fine with it because everybody else has got penalties. Finally have an overtake happening. Bones on those mediums. I'm not surprised to see him get by his teammate there. Mediums are a really solid tire. And softer compound, newer tire. Not surprised to see that happen. Let's see if he can chase Adri down now. A couple of second gap there for that final podium position. Let's check those penalties again. All of those drivers in the top 5 on 3. It's just Kylett who's 6. So all even on penalties for those 3 who were fighting for that final podium position. Don't count Barton out of that yet either. As we saw earlier, as overtakes happen, contact can happen. And, yeah, you never know. Bones has picked up another time penalty, so that's going to really hurt his chances of finishing on the podium, because now he's going to have to not only catch and pass Adri, but also build a 3-second gap. So that penalty works out really, really well for Adri. I wonder if there'll be any team orders at Ferrari as Kylett's retired. Looks like he's lost it through turn 9. Let's see where on the track. Yeah. So we got a full safety car. Full safety car, so I will expect pit lane to be busy. A full safety car here on lap 26. I would expect pretty much everyone to pit for softs. And this works out really well for Beck because he doesn't have a penalty. So as long as he can stay within 3 seconds, that's all that matters. And don't pick up a drive-through. I hope I don't give him the commentator's curse, but don't pick up a drive-through. or a speeding penalty coming into the pit lane. He'll stay in P2 because the gap was there. But he's got enough of a gap to Adri that even if Adri stays out, I would imagine he would probably still retain P2. I could see Bones maybe staying out, but with those 6 seconds and penalties, he's going to need to pit. Beck coming in, no surprise there. He's going to be fitting some sauce. Adri coming in. Bones staying out, so he likes his chances of defending, or maybe he just didn't want to double stack. Barton coming in, Fuzz coming in, Heron coming in, RC pushing to get back up. This is going to work out well for him and Rustman because neither of them have penalties, so it'll work out really well for them. Yeah, with Snooty picking up the penalty and then the safety car, yeah, I mean the race really is coming to Beck. The only bad thing for Beck right now really is that Bones is in the middle of him. I thought Beck would have had a gap to Bones. That is not great for him. Unless Bones is deciding to pit this lap. Like I said, maybe they just didn't want to double stack at Ferrari, but that could be a point of concern. Because he's going to have to get by Bones to stay within that 3-second gap. Yeah. That, not ideal. For Fuzz and RC, this works out really well because they don't have penalties and all the drivers ahead of them do. So if there's another DRS train or if there's spins or whatever, they'll be there to pick up some good points. So, yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. This safety car staying out for one more lap. It'll be interesting to see how aggressive Beck is at the restart. Knowing he doesn't have any penalties, knowing that both drivers in front do. Yeah, tough to know. Looks like, where's Rustman? Is he's caught up in the middle of the safety car queue as well, so I don't know why he's there. He shouldn't be. That's not working out well for Beck either, to have a back marker there. I wonder if the safety car will allow him to unlap himself. I don't know enough about the safety car and unlapping in this game. I know in years past there's been some bugs with unlapping yourself under the safety car, and it would tell you to and then give you a penalty for it. All those things, but some more bad news for Beck. Safety car staying out one more lap. So the longer it stays out, the better it works out for Beck, because the less time you'll have to build a gap. But yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I don't know why I wish lapped cars could unlap themselves, because this is going to really affect the battle for the podium, but even the race win. So I hope he gets out of the way quickly on restart. I hope he knows the situation and is able to, pull over, let the other guys have their battle, and go from there. But Beck will need to be all over it. All the more reason he'll need to be aggressive in getting by Bones. Assuming the safety car will be in this lap. Yep, there we go. So it's going to be a mad dash for these final 4 laps as the safety car pulls in. Snooty out in the lead, does have a time penalty. Bones on the medium tires where everyone else in the field pitted for softs. Beck has no penalties, but he has a back marker and Bones in the way of him and a race victory. So, green again. Snooty leads them away. He's got the gap. Bones closing up to the back of Restman. I wonder what we'll see here. Beck all over the back of Bones already. Restman not moving out of the way. I mean, he's entitled to try and unlap himself, and I guess ghosting is on. But this is the crucial lap for Beck. He's got to get by Bones as fast as possible. We'll follow along with him. The rest of the field behind seems to be pretty single file. We've got Heron going really closely. As Beck has picked up a time penalty. No. Disappointing for Beck, as it looks like rain is starting to fall. So could be a slimy final few laps. Stay tuned for some potential spins. I noticed the clouds rolling in during the safety car, but didn't expect the rain to start falling. The rain is falling, so Beck unfortunately has picked up a time penalty. He's going to need to get by Bag of Bones. Well, I guess Bones has 6 seconds in penalties. Well held from Beck, but not Beck. All the more reason. Yep, there's some rain falling. You can see it on the onboard cams here, and you can catch it in glimpses from the TV shots, but unfortunate. Snooty comfortably in the lead now. This will be his race win unless he makes a mistake. Right now, with current penalties, it will be Beck for P2 and Adri for P3, with Barton and Heron probably also picking up a position, and probably Bones dropping to P6. So we'll see how it goes with those penalties to round out the race. Oh, lots of rain on the camera. Oh no, Beck! Beck has gone around at the final corner, and he's out of the Grand Prix. No, coming around the final corner, he looked a little wobbly there. The last lap under the safety car, and that's it. That's his race over. So disappointing for Beck. I don't know why Restman unlapped himself. Don't quite understand what's happening there. Ghosting is on, so he should be able to just run his race, but based off of where he is in the field, I don't know why he's not just pulled over and let everybody through, because he's going to finish 9th anyway. He's not making up a minute and 18 seconds. As RC's gone off too. RC has retired, so the two McLarens losing it on the final few laps. As we just have 2 and 2 laps and a sector remaining. Yes, gutted for Beck. Absolutely gutted for Beck. And RC, who had a good race, then a tough race, and then was fighting back again and was in a good position. Probably going to finish P6, P5, somewhere around there. Really tough. Fuzz and Heron going side by side. Well, it's Heron who's gone off in the gravel. So Rustman, despite being lapped, he's going to finish P7 probably, if he can make it past where RC retired. Oh, McLaren. It was not McLaren's day. It is going to be a good day for Mercedes, though, as Snooty, he's got this. It's just see it home. Take it home. Bones, he's got a 2-second gap and penalty advantage. Rustman finally getting past RC into P7. Ooh, he almost loses it there. Eventful opening laps. Classic Spain there for a while, and then a late safety car to shake it up, and some late race drama here at Spain. We thought it might have been Beck or Snooty. Snooty, through some safety car, through some other things, had the luck, as we have Barton, who looks like he's gone off, and so he's going to lose a couple positions. But it will be Snooty coming around the final corner now for the race victory. Congrats to him. We have Bones and Adri drag race to the line. Bones finished there on track. Adri will get it after penalty, as Bones is now dropped to P4. Barton is going to come home P5, Heron P6. I think we only had 6 or 7 finishers in the end. We lost over half the field. So yeah, I think we finished with 7. Oh no, never driver of the day. No, that was a mistake. The game lied to us there. Yeah, I think we had 15 on the grid and 7 finishers. So I don't know what's in the water at Spain this year, but it's a tough one. It looks like Beck and RC completed enough laps to be qualified, so they should still get points, I believe. I don't know exactly how ZOR does it, but technically I think they're qualified finishers in P8 and P9, so they'll get a few points. But not what they're going to have felt like they deserve. Lots of DNFs, lots of spins, lots of lost wings. And yeah, eventful, classic late race safety car to shake things up, and an eventful race otherwise at Spain. But yeah, congrats to Snooty. Had a great lap for pole position. Looked in control for a lot of the race. Fuzz with a good recovery. Up and down the order, ended up P2 and Adri P3. So after penalties, it's a double podium for Alpine and then 4-5 for Ferrari. So some good team performances there as well. Mercedes 1 and 5. Looking down the rest of the order, Rustman the last to finish the final lap. RC and Beck. Yeah, remains to be seen what the stewards will do about points there. But yeah. Lots to unpack from this race. The stewards will be busy with coming togethers and everything. But, yeah, another eventful race. Lots to unpack, lots to reflect on as we prepare. Next week it'll be Monaco, the jewel in the crown. Hopefully we have more than half the field finished there. So, yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Next week, Monaco, same time, same place. We will see you then.